right, Michael, some people also say you're being used by the ruling party. What do you really hope to achieve with this in the final analysis?
When I left Kingsley Mohalu's campaign after his loss in Abeokuta last year, I publicly announced that I would not be involved in political media for 2023. I'm not working for anybody. People need to understand, before they make these allegations, that it would have been more profitable for me to even blackmail Atiku by, sending him all of the evidences I have, threatening him. After all, his own daughter, Hawa, to whom he owed money and was refusing to pay, had to threaten and blackmail him before he paid. I'm putting that out later tonight. It would have been better for me to do that and collect whatever Atiku had given to me, and then the public would be none the wiser. It would have been much more safer for me and my family even. Because by my actions at this moment, my children are not safe. Threats have been made. They have visited my house. My parents are not safe. My siblings are not safe. I knew the implications before I went into this entire thing. There's nobody who needed to motivate me to do this. So I continue to say that it is running away from the crux of the matter if we continue to talk about these things. Because even if anybody did sponsor me, to come out, the fact still remains that Atiku made this confession. What is the position of the law about this? Is it the opposition party that asks its children to confess that they are going to rip Nigeria dry and steal billions and go and reside abroad like their father does if he wins the presidency? It's very trivial. Sometimes I wonder, what do we really want? And if we continue to major in the minor, then many other whistleblowers, people with tangible information, would not come out tomorrow and risk their lives like this. I don't expect to come out of this alive. I'm very afraid, but I will carry on until Nigerians come to a point of realization. The goal for me, like I've said, is just two things basically. There was a personal aspect of my transactions with the Atikus that I will never deny. I do not want young Nigerians like myself. Look around you. There's a lot of young persons who are media aides today, who are special advisors, one field or the other. They are being taken for granted. They are not treated with the respect that is their due. A lot of them are unhappy doing the jobs that they do because of the way they are treated by the political elite. It's my goal is that after this event, nobody takes them for granted anymore. Secondly, that Nigerians do not make the mistake of voting for Atiku Abubakar for president. It will be suicide mission. If that is the only thing I achieve from this, I'm satisfied and fulfilled.
All right. Now, what are those character traits, in your view, that do not make Atiku Abubakar entitled to the presidency?
Atiku is not trustworthy. His word is not his bond. And so, if a man cannot honor agreements with individuals and groups, how do you trust such a person to honor the social contract that he has with Nigerians? I've spoken with so many northern elites who are around him, who have told me why they have not, them in the north, the northern elite have refused to support Atiku's presidency and candidacy, over the years. They do not trust him. There's also a very vicious cabal around him, according to these people. And I have evidence, of this. Very senior people in this country speaking not just to me, but also to Atiku's daughter. I sat down in a meeting in Yola with an Adamawa chieftain who addressed me and Hawa Atiku, and he stated all of the reasons why the North have refused to support Atiku. Atiku's daughter did not have a word of defense for her father. Also, in my conversation with her about Governor Wike, the crisis between Governor Wike and her father, she brought up the Fulani issue, and the fact of how wicked her father is behind the facade. It was in that conversation that she first mentioned assassination, something I cannot speak about here, and spoke about how they will whip the man into shape and anybody else into shape, who does not toe, their lines. So if I've also read some of Atiku's current aides, people like Demola Olariwaju, Ima, I forgot his Ume also, and others who have in the past affirmed, in their own words, that Atiku is a sponsor of political violence in the north. They've attested to his desperation, and a host of other things. Now, in my dealings with him, in the instructions that he gave to me, I was able to, see what was right from what was wrong. And if there's anything Atiku himself would tell you about me, it is that I would always challenge him, even privately, about those things I felt were wrong for this country, for him to do, you know. And based on all of these things, we've had other people like Governor Wike, the G5 governors, and the rest of them come out, to make very strong statements, and even Atiku's daughter, caught on tape saying, her father believes totally in the power of money to subjugate Nigerians and their political will. The same thing that President Obasanjo had said about him in his book. And so, who are common Nigerians to argue against something that a man's own daughter, biological daughter, who has lived with him all of her lives, over 3 decades of her life on earth, is confirming about him, And of course, there's my personal experiences while there, So in all honesty and with very good conscience and nothing else, Atiku Abubakar will be a disaster politically.
True that the funding of the Atiku Okowa campaign is being done with Delta State funds.
Well, a serving aide of Governor Okowa said it, not me. I'd like to remind you, as I've done severally on this program already, that I am not making allegations. I'm merely putting out the things they are saying in-house. And so Prince Olatunji is someone very well known and is close to both the governor and to Atiku. And if he said that, I believe him. But it's left for the people of Delta State, to ask these questions of their governor. But there was no evidence, But I have provided the first real evidence, confession, if you will, against Atiku. If Nigeria doesn't, seize this moment to begin to show that nobody is above the law, then it's a pity for the country. My job is done. Choice, and digging deeper into, Atiku and his family. And I know what they will find out. And I know that if they find out those things, they will not be voting for Atiku.
Trying to protect your children. So are you in any way afraid for your family or your life, knowing the kind of society we live in?
People have been killed for less. I know the people I worked with and I'm dealing with. Of course, I'm afraid. I'll be lying to say I'm not afraid. But, well, every man must die. It is appointed to every man to die once. And after that judgment, if Atiku has me killed, Atiku will still die. He's not leaving this earth alive. Whichever assassin they used to kill me will still die. And so everybody knows they will die. We just don't know the appointed time and how. So it could be now or tomorrow. If it comes, I accept it, But yes, I'm taking measures, to secure myself and family, but I'm not running. Atiku is not a very young person. Whenever he dies, he wants his children to be, as rich and as powerful as he is. And so sometimes, in a lot of instances in Nigeria, this is how the so-called generational wealth is attained, And so just like, they are doing in Adamawa State, always, hustling for juicy positions. It's what they intend to do when they get to Aso Rock. But like I said to Nigerians, look, this thing it's not even rocket science. This man has 31 biological children. 30 of them are adults. All of those adults want to become multi-billionaires. It will put too much of a strain on the resources of this country. Whether you like me or not, does not negate this fact. And if you like your own future as well as your families, as a citizen of this country, you would agree with me that this isn't a luxury you can afford at this time.
To his exposure to corruption, what do you think an Atiku presidency portends for Nigeria?
If Nigeria is said to have institutionalized corruption in the past, an Atiku presidency will make it global. It will bring, it will give it wings. You have 30 corrupt children seeking for the same thing to dip their hands into national treasury. You look at the people, because you see, to measure the worth of a leader, you have to look at the people around him. Look at the Dino Melayes, look at the Reno Mokris and the rest of them, the entire horde, of corrupt, people who have never really had anything to do other than pillaging resources and patronizing these politicians. The effect, especially now that we are looking for some sort of economic recovery, will not be good for this nation in any kind of way. You heard them. You heard what the children said. You heard what Atiku himself said. And he did tell me that he wants to retire. He didn't want to run for president this time. But the children pressured him. Why do you think they did so? I have a video of how Atiku, who is speaking ill of our brother Adamu, said that, look, my father's political influence will wane after this particular political cycle. And so the time for me to establish myself is now. And so nobody, not even my brother, is going to stand in my way. This is the mentality they are bringing to Asoro, and it's not good for Nigerians.